What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we're going to be at my niece's and nephew's house again, just borrowing their computer real quick. But we are here to talk about none other than just a small another issue that Digimon is starting to run into, and that'll be the fact that we are getting to a point where Digimon are almost free evolving or skip evolutions to the point where it's getting a little out of hand. And top decks are starting to show that if you can go faster than your opponent's normal stacking deck, they're in a bad spot. I mean, we can scream yell Ukumon's the problem, but there's also other issues that are running into this game. And that is, at the end of the day, you don't always have an out to what your opponent is doing. And if you don't have it at the right time, you're going to be screwed. So taking a look at now, like cards that were Mega Digimon Fusion, being able to jump evolve, for free has been banned because of the powerhouse of level 7s. And it's still proving that to this point. And especially like Hidden Potential Discover is still restricted at 1 for green. And that is just because it suspends to reduce the cost of the next Digievolution, by 5. Reducing that Digievolution is very important. I mean, taking a look at it from a wide stance, there's a reason why these were hit, just because of how fast these things would make it unfair, and sometimes you just could not keep up. We know Mega Digimon Fusion was hit for future supporting, but it was hit during the Susano arc, which Yellow Hybrid and Blue Hybrid were one of the more dominant threats in the game, because being able to get into Susanomon for free, yes, it'll go to the bottom, was ridiculous. That ability to be able to, as long as you got that 10 requirement, you can warp on your tamer, and then your opponent is now facing down a Susanomon after you probably hit them a couple times already, and then boom, you swing in, clear out the rest of the security, because security wasn't as scary back in the day. We did have options and stuff like that floating about, but there wasn't as many as you think. But taking a look at it now, we are at a point where things are like, even the newest decks from BT17, like Lobomon, has the ability to warp into its ancient counterpart, skipping evolution. Yes, we've had the old version, but it wasn't as strong as it was. Now, that new version is just scary and very punishing. Same thing with the Agunimon. The new Ancient Greymon is just really powerful. And there's nothing wrong with upgrading old decks that just haven't had support in a while. And yeah, making them competitively viable is one of the things. I don't think these decks as a whole were the bigger issues. I think the problem comes down to is that Ukumon makes the deck even more scarier, because you can just rush out with the Ukus, get your consistency, and then boom, you're explosive. I think that's more of an Uku issue for these decks, because I think these decks, if you didn't have Ukumon, actually play pretty solidly, and you don't have to worry as much, and you can play a normal game with them. And because they are removing their own Digimon and just redoing stuff, it's not terrible to take a look at that. But let's even talk about the new BT14 Patamon. Being able to skip evolution into what is known as getting like a Rapidmon or Magnamon, that is what's bigger issues here. You know what? Back when you had to pay almost full price for Rapid, it was a very powerful card. Now, being able to skip evolve into a Rapidmon and then, Digivolve for free and then gain 1 memory is ridiculous. Just paying that for 0 is so strong. And I know Yellow in general needed something to really push itself ahead. Really, its last dominating threat was being, the Yellow Hybrid. And then we did have Shine a little bit, but that's a yellow reddish deck. It's not the same as a normal yellow base deck, but yes, it's yellow red. But taking into an account here, you have like Patamon and Messenger of Hope being really powerful cards, being able to use Messenger of Hope evolution for 1 and go up, and you don't even lose anything out half the time, because Patamon's just going to give it to you for free, and then you're basically gaining free memory out of this, because at the end of the day, you didn't spend anything. So that 4 cost, that 5 cost, that 6 cost, Mega you just pulled just costs you nothing, because Patamon is now active. And now you gain that memory. There's a point where giving too much free is always a downside in some card games, I know we have aces that kind of do similar free evolution, but there's a cause and effect. They're responsive. You can stop some of this. Yes, you can slow down Pata by having the, memory blocker, but that's still a level 4 coming in that if it's Rapidmon, the new Rapidmon, if it swings in, it's going to minus your target by 4,000 DP, which will kill the memory game blocker. And then you're kind of sitting duck because now it's swinging in. It reduced the security of the security Digimon, and that is really important there, Even taking into the account of Numemon X, being able to, while Numemon or X embodies Digi-evolutions, it gains on deletion, you may play one Numemon from your trash in its name. See, this is where a big underlying issue comes too. Being able to play something for free. Numemon doesn't play any rookies that have any baseline rookies. They just focus for 4, 5, and 6. The fact that you can bring a Platinum Nume and then follow up after this thing's been killed in the stack, go from into Platinum Nume, and then look at your opponent, it goes Merciful mode? Oh, Death X. Or even better yet, let's go into Ruin mode and shut down your day. Those cards are fair in their own right. Don't get me wrong. They're a lot stronger than most cards, but when you start now equating into a level 4 that can just go into Platinum Nume, and then you can follow up doing your shenanigans, that starts to show a bigger core issue, is that we're getting to a point of free value, free everything. And it's not even like there's any drawback for this free. Like in the olden, when the card game was just new, there was so much, if you wanted something for free, there was a drawback. And what do I mean by drawback? You wanted to play Gravity Crush. What happened? Your opponent's going to gain 2 memory out of that deal. And that is vitally important to take that into account, is that 2 memory could be a crackback if you didn't kill them that turn. And yes, we know that Gravity Crush is showing more and more prevalent because Red Hybrid uses Gravity Crush to get that last bit of swing damage in. But you have like Mega Gargo Ace that can Digivolve on top of any Rapidmon is really scary. And you can Digivolve on top of your Rapid X just to restart a little bit of your chain. That gets a little annoying pretty quickly, doesn't it? But, Mega Gargo Ace is very powerful with Rapidmon X antibody, and because both decks are very strong. You have the yellow vaccine that runs both Magna and X antibody because they run the golden Digi's Mentals, which is mostly just going to be Rapidmon, or you run the Magnamons if you're in the blue version, or you run the Rapids if you're in the yellow version. You know what they use? They use Awakening of the Golden Digizord. This gives protection, which is even makes it more insane because this thing is now 3 costs going to Digivolve. This thing's going to skip Evolve, and now your opponent's now dealing with Magnamon, who's a lot stronger than its normal counterpart. It's a lot stronger than its normal counterpart, and that's very important to take into account because, you know what? Digivolves one of your armor forms and its traits into a Digimon with Magma on its hand, ignoring its Digievolution requirements without paying its memory costs. A Digimon that Digivolved with its effects cannot have its DP reduced by your opponent's effects until the end of your opponent's turn. You know what? At least you can target it with the Mumsymon package, because at least keeping that is very vitally important. But if we even go into the future now, we're getting to a point where even just keeping your bodies come in, Return of the Ancestors here is when one of your Digimon with free traits, it would be deleted other than by one of your effects, delay, by digivolving that Digimon into a Digimon with Imperial Digimon in its name in his hand without paying its cost, prevent its deletion. Now you're going to get into Paladin mode Ace, and that card is really hard to get out and around because of how powerful it can just leave your opponent scrapping around for scraps just to handle this card. This thing is a ticking time bomb trap that lets you get in a protected body and a free evolution that normally you would not have had. And then you have Miraculous Ultimate Knight. This thing being one of your Digimon with Greymon or Garurumon on its name would leave the battle area other than battle, delay. That Digimon and a Digimon in your hand may DNA Digivolve into an Omnimon in your hand. This being able to DNA Digivolve from your hand means a new body comes out. Any deletion effects, anything like that, disappear. And then this Omnimon is quite powerful. Stuff like that is showing that it's not all sunshine and rainbows here. We have that the power level is just getting there for free evolutions and making it so they have some sort of protection. They have Mega Digi Digimon Assembly, which is kind of like the of Mega Digimon Fusion, but one of your Digimon level 6 and one card in the hand may DNA Digivolve into a level 7 card in your hand. You know what? That's really good. I mean, it allows us to go into something like Mastamon Ace, or in better yet, Ragnar Lordmon Ace. Like, I'm sorry, it's not a level 6. You're going to be going to 7 with it. But you're introducing like Mastamon Ace, being able to do the same thing Mega Digimon Fusion or Miraculous Ultimate Knight is doing. By being able to blast DNA Digivolve with an Angel Woman or Lady Devi, which, well, as long as one on the field, they attack. If they didn't pop it, you're going to take the other piece from hand, and this, boom, you lost one piece in your hand, but being able to get into a powerhouse like this is showing that free evolution is getting scarier and scarier. You know, like, at least with Bonds of Bravery, while you have 2 or fewer security cards, you can Digivolve into an Agumon for a cost of 3, which is very fair for a requirement. That makes sense. And now, even going forwards, you have to now worry about how Agumon might be on that board. If they leave too many Agumons up and you're going in and they're going to have 2 or fewer security, instantly that Bond of Bravery can come down and make your opponent have a bad day. So stuff like that is very important to keep in mind, especially like that. There's really, to be honest with you, like, countering this is going to be a problem, because if you want to ignore Digievolution requires, players can't ignore Digievolution requirements. Kukuamon's like the only card that can do it. If there's another one, please let me know. I just don't remember off the top of my head. That could help counter this, but it's another rookie that gets instantly outed. I think we're getting to a point where skip evolutioning is just getting a little too out of hand. I'm not saying we need to ban it outright, but we need some sort of requirements or negations or something like that we can just interact with. Patamon, the only way you can stop it is making sure that the minusing DP effect is present. If there's a blanket one, Patamon doesn't come up. Otherwise, it's coming up and it's going to try to take that level 4 from that security as soon as possible. And you know they're going to get it in there because they'll Digivolve in the Pata, then slam down their, Tamer, TK, that's going to take the top, and then you put the piece at the bottom. Now your opponent is not going to be able to swing into it to get rid of it, because being at the bottom guarantees the Patamon's going to Digivolve. So stuff like this gets really scary and out of hand. I'm not saying we need to ban a lot of things here. I'm just saying we need to find a healthier means to, not give free memory and just say like one card costs this, and then, skip evolution is just very powerful. And, it's not going to be the normal synergy and stuff. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully we covered a good topic, but let me know down in the comments how you feel about how the card game is turning out going into like VT17. But guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.